So we got some exciting stuff to cover today on the Transformers Slag podcast. We got a whole bunch of computer listings for the 2024 product lineup. Just last week, we covered the Transformers Legacy Uni stuff, as well as some of the Hasbro Pulse exclusive stuff for 2024. Now we're going to be covering Studio Series and Robot Enhanced Design, the R.E.D. line for 2024. This isn't all the listings for that year, but probably late 2023 and early 2024 stuff. So let's jump into that. There is some conflicting information here, but I'll get into that in a moment. We're going to try to do our best here on the Transformers Slag podcast to make sense of that conflicting information and just try to make sense of everything like we always do here. So I'm going to separate the conflicting stuff into a separate part here, and I'm going to start with the stuff that is pretty much confirmed what we're going to be getting. So first we have a Studio Series Core Class MV5 Mohawk. MV is for Movie 5, that's the Last Knight. So we have the Last Knight Core Class Mohawk here. This is fantastic news primarily because Mohawk just didn't have a toy. When the Last Knight came out, pretty much most people got toys except Mohawk. And Mohawk didn't get a tiny turbo changer. He didn't get a little small legend scale. He got absolutely nothing. And for the longest time, people kind of just used their Transformers movie 2010 Brimstone Scout class figure as their Mohawk in their display because, well, we didn't think we were going to get one. And now we're actually getting one, so that's pretty cool. I mean, hey, it's long overdue. I always like it when you do characters that never have toys or never had any kind of merch or anything like that. And while Mohawk was short-lived in the movie, emphasis on short-lived, it's nice that he's finally getting a toy. It's no different than, other characters that also didn't last very long on the screen and still got plenty of figures. I'm looking at you, someone like Bone Crusher or many others. Then we have here, and this is an interesting one, a deluxe class TF7 Scorpionok. Now, TF7 would represent Rise of the Beasts. And we have no confirmation of Scorpionok being in the Rise of the Beasts movie. Now, people could argue this might be a mistake. This might be TF2007 Scorpionok, and they're doing a deluxe scale one of that Scorpionok character from Transformers 2007 Michael Bay. But if this is indeed a TF7 Rise of the Beast Scorpionok figure, then that leads to a lot of different stuff to be asked because while we don't know about him being in the movie, if it's a Studio Series product, that pretty much confirms that he will be in some shape or form in the movie. Studio Series really doesn't do stuff, characters and figures that don't have an appearance in the movie. Like, that's something that's really much just reserved for like mainline toy-only characters, like, let's say, Rise of the Beast Skullcruncher. We're not expecting him to be in the movie, even though there's a toy of him. So that asks, that raises a lot of questions. So is he going to be maybe part of the Terracon, some dude in the background with Scourge and the crew? Much like Freezer, I guess, is going to be part of that, assortment too. Or is this truly TF7 is a Michael Bay 2007, the first live action Transformer movie figure? We don't know. We'll find out, but there is a lot of questions to ask with that one. Then we got a deluxe class War for Cybertron Sideswipe. We knew that we were going to be getting more War for Cybertron video game related stuff. So this just kind of adds to that. The original one was a deluxe class back in the day in 2012 of Sideswipe, and he shared a mold. It was, mind you, it was a partial and a retool, but he shared a mold with Jazz. So that does also raise the question, if we get this War for Cybertron Sideswipe, will we be getting possibly maybe a Jazz later on? That would be the second Cybertronian Jazz toy we'd be getting in a very short time. Kind of funny how that works out. Again, if you look at the original character model in the video game, it was a lot sleeker than the more bulky 2012 figure. So I could see that there is a way that they could improve that with the modern engineering and the design team that they have today. And then, of course, afterwards taking that and maybe tackling the Jazz at the same time too, in the partial and the retool. So there's a little bit of extra planning that could be done with this afterwards. Maybe a Sunstreak or two. We'll see what happens with that, but I'm looking forward to it. After this, we got a Voyager Class War for Cybertron Starscream. We already talked about this one in the past, but we'll just kind of reiterate it again. It's a Voyager class. The original toy in 2012 was a deluxe class, so now you're getting the Voyager class treatment with more budget, more parts, more pieces, and of course that opens the door to then doing the other Seekers of Thundercracker and Skywarp, and who knows what else they might want to do with it. They want to even go outside that afterwards from the non-video game appearing characters, but just creating that mold opens up that Pandora's box. Then we have here a Voyager Class 86 Scrap Heap. So a Studio Series 86 Scrap Heap. We got Wreck-Ar. We got Junk Heap, which originally was Junkyard. And now we have Scrap Heap. Maybe they'll call him Scrap Yard. Maybe they'll stay with the Scrap Heap name just to keep it simple. That's what his name was for years, was Scrap Heap. He's just yet again another Junkion added to the mix. He's one of the many that were in the background and had bios and everything like that. So, hey, we're going to be getting Scrap Heap to join your Wreck-Ar and Junk Heap. It's going to obviously be a retool of the Voyager of the other two. So, hey, more Junkions to add to the mix. You're growing your collection. It's going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. And, man, if you're a Junkion fan, the past 2 years have been quite good for you. Let's put it that way. And the last one we have here is a Studio Series, again, 86 Leader Class Dinobot Swoop. So, hey, now we have all our Dinobots. We got Swoop here, confirmed now as a Leader Class. There was rumors going around that he was going to be a Voyager Class or something. So he is going to be a Leader Class. All that we really have to ask is, is there going to be a little extra bonus with it? Is it going to come with other stuff, or is it going to just be straight up that Leader Class Swoop figure on its own? But that now completes our movie appearance Dinobots after this. Now, just ask the question, are they going to maybe around this time also reissue maybe Grimlock and put him back out there in the secondary, because the secondary market's getting kind of crazy on him. So really interesting, really interesting. So it's nice to see at least a confirmation that the last of the Dinobots is also going to be a leader after all kinds of rumors. So let's get into the conflicting information here. So there was a whole bunch of MV6 stuff. Now, MV6 historically up to this point has been Bumblebee movie stuff. And it's always been without question that it was Bumblebee movie stuff. But there's people in the fandom saying that it might be a typo and it might be Studio Series 86, even though in these exact same listings, all the Studio Series 86 stuff has been listed as Studio Series 86. So we're going to go through this. We're going to break it down and make sense of both sides of the coins for each one of these characters. And then you could give your opinion afterwards too. So first we have the two core classes here. We have a core class MV6 Rumble. This could be one of many different things, because if it's a Studio Series 86 Rumble, well, we already got one of those. So is it going to be Rumble Red? Wouldn't they just want to call it Frenzy Red, not Rumble Red? Is it a Rumble from the Bumblebee movie that we didn't see there, but maybe they're going to make a cassette for the Soundwave and they're doing a Rumble now, and then that course opens the door then to a Frenzy repaint later? You take from that what you will. Then we got a core class MV6 Starscream. So again, if it's a Studio Series 86 Starscream, are they making a core class, Starscream? Didn't we already get that through, in a lot of ways, Kingdom and everything? Are they revisiting it again and giving us a G1 core class, but now with the Studio Series 86? I think that would be kind of silly. It makes more sense if it's just them taking that Voyager scale Starscream that we already got from the Bumblebee movie and making a core class of that and then repainting the heck out of that with all the Seekers that are available. That makes more sense. So again, that one also, don't really see it being an 86 thing, being more so a Bumblebee thing. Now here's the one where I see the argument. You got a deluxe class MV6 Sunstreaker. Now, Sunstreaker wasn't in the Bumblebee movie. Maybe there's an argument that could be made that they could make a brand new character and tooling and everything, but then why would you do that in Studio Series that has not had those characters in it? They don't make toys of characters that didn't have appearances. So that is a bizarre one. And that's where one you could argue the 86 movie, because, well, let's be fair, we had Studio Series 86 characters that were in the background that got toys. I mean, I'm looking at you, Snarl. So it's something where if Snarl was in the background for 2 quick seconds and so was Sunstreaker, That one kind of makes more sense. So the Studio Series 86 argument is kind of in their favor there because of this Sunstreaker. I don't know. That's a very weird one. I'd like to get more info on that. Then we got a Studio Series Voyager class MV6 Shockwave. This one could go either way. Could be Shockwave in the 86 movie. Could be Shockwave as his appearance was in the Bumblebee movie. I'm leaning more for the Bumblebee movie. He already got a core class figure. Now it's time to do a Voyager class, done proper scale one of Shockwave. So I'm aiming that this MV6 is more Bumblebee. So now it's 3 for the Bumblebee movie, 1 really for 86. And the last one here is a Studio Series Leader Class MV6 Megatron. Now, this is the one that gets a lot of people going, oh, what's going on here? So, Bumblebee movie was supposed to have Megatron. There was teasers of him being in the movie. There was a silhouette showing how much bigger he was than Optimus Prime and Bumblebee in the movie. In the Energon Igniters Bumblebee movie subline, there was a brand new tooled Megatron figure, which really what it was in the end, it was his Revenge of the Fallen body in a brand new tooling made specifically for this line. And then it was later on retooled into Blitzwing. So some people might even argue that this was supposed to be a Blitzwing toy and then it was turned into a Megatron. The Megatron was released first. But the big thing was the tiny turbo changers. There was the Bumblebee movie tiny turbo changers, and there was a Megatron in there that was looking very Generation 1, turned into a tank, had his Generation 1 head sculpt, and the rumor was that this is potentially what his unused design was, or a cut scene from the movie. So now we go back to this. It's a leader class. We already saw through the teaser images and the silhouette of the Bumblebee movie and Megatron being in it that Megatron towered over Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, so he was very leader class size to a Studio Series Bumblebee Optimus Prime Voyager scale toy. So that one kind of makes sense there a little bit. Maybe it's making a toy out of a design that didn't make the cut of the movie, and now's the chance to do that. It's a possibility there too. That would make it a very interesting product and unique to the Studio Series line, releasing now Studio Series designs that didn't get released. So, very interesting. The flip side of that is it's Studio Series 86 Megatron, which can't turn into a gun. So I don't know how they would do that. I mean, that would be more work and headache than it's worth. And I mean, when you say, well, then he could just transform into a tank. Yeah, but I mean, then that's pretty much what Earthrise, Megatron did all those years ago. It just pretty much tried its best to have that robot mode that looks like Megatron in the show, but still transforms into a tank. So I'm thinking again more it might be unreleased Bumblebee movie leader class Megatron, especially the scale leader class. It kind of makes sense. It really does. So that's my take on those more or less. You could give your opinion, but I really think this MV6 stuff really it's all Bumblebee movie, and just that Sunstreaker is the weird one that really makes me question things. The last thing we're going to cover is R.E.D. stuff. We got a whole bunch of 2023 and 2024 listings of the R.E.D. line. We'll just kind of go through these quickly because there's not much really to talk about. There's going to be an R.E.D. G1 Sound Blaster. They're obviously going to be taking that sound wave that we got before, turning it into Sound Blaster, the black repaint. Obviously, if they don't change the tooling and the sculpting of the laser beak, this is clearly going to just be a straight up repaint into Buzzsaw with that little tape cassette that's included. So straight up repaint, black repaint, that's that. Nothing really much to say about it. Maybe if they do some new tooling, it'll be a Rat Bat that's included with the Sound Blaster, but we'll see. Then we got an R.E.D. G1 Grimlock. This could go either way also. This could either be Dino mode or Robot mode. Me personally, if you want to go with something more iconic, I would go with the Dino mode, but the Robot mode would then lead to more accessories and pieces, extra hands, the sword weapon, where a Dino mode, there is its limitations. What are you going to include? An interchangeable face with a damaged, why you hurt my nose, or a wheelie that'll carry on the back, or I don't know, maybe his apron and stuff, and a serving tray from the masterpiece. So it's something where it's I think they're probably going to go with the robot mode just because it's going to have more stuff and they could do something that's a little more stylized. And then, of course, they'll do G2 colors later and everything like that. So that one's pretty much a given. Then we have a G1 Skywarp R.E.D. No surprise there. We got Starscream. We got Thundercracker. Now we're going to get Skywarp. no surprise. Then we'll probably get Sunstorm and then the other Seekers if this line still exists. So no surprise with that one. The last one we have here is also a Starscream, but it's Prime Starscream. So adding more to that Transformers Prime crew. This one, though, you know, like stuff like the RC and the Knockout makes sense to me. I understand them doing the Megatron and the Optimus because it's a Megatron and an Optimus. Again, Starscream had a really good toy already off the bat. Quite a few really good toys that were pretty screen accurate already off the bat during Transformers Prime's original run of toys. So this one here, I don't know how different it's going to be from the original, like, you know, toys and stuff, like how much it's going to reinvent the wheel. It'll probably come with a bunch of extra accessories, some Energon shards and stuff like that, and it'll look nice. I'm pretty sure it'll look nice. It'll pull it off. It'll be fun, and any fans of Transformers Prime, or more specifically the Starscream Prime character, will enjoy this. But it's something where I would have appreciated if they took a Prime character that probably didn't have as nice a figure, and then maybe revisiting that. But again, it's a Starscream, so obviously that's the way they look at it. It's a Starscream. It'll sell. It'll do well. And that's it, more or less. That's, tell me what you think about all this. There's just a lot to dissect here and take apart. There's a lot of really cool things. Again, I really think that all that MV6 stuff is Bumblebee movie, and just that Sunstreaker is this really weird thing involved in it. But let me know what you think, guys. We have plenty of more news this week. It's going to be a very busy week in the Transformer world, so stay tuned for that. And the Transformer Slag podcast. I'll talk to you soon.